she would allow her husband to have a hall pass and go find a guy, find a young lady, impregnate this woman, and then come back. And the three of them could raise the child together because she does believe in co-parenting.
Okay.
David, I see the look you giving me.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, how you feel about this, man?
That's one heck of a hall pass, you know.
I saw this topic, and it blew my mind, David. Blew my mind. Everybody, for those that may not be familiar with, is an actress by the name of Tami Roman. Tami Roman was first came to stardom on through the Real World many years ago. Yeah. She did an interview with the Real, and one of the sound bites that came from that is that Tami Roman stated that she, because of the growth of her career and how things are starting to pay off now with all of the hard work that she's put into it, plus the fact that she is surviving lupus while doing all of this, she has agreed to, she actually told her husband, who wants more children, he doesn't have any children of his own, that in order for him to have a child, that she would allow him an extended hall pass of a year or two to have a child with the woman of his choosing, and then come back and they could raise the child together. She has no issue with co-parenting. She just doesn't believe that right now that the rigors that your body goes through in order to get pregnant, I don't believe that she can get pregnant through normal natural means, that she would have to then go through in vitro and all of that other stuff. As taxing as that is on the body and the wallet, she would allow her husband to have a hall pass and go find a guy, find a young lady, impregnate this woman, and then come back. And the three of them could raise the child together because she does believe in co-parenting.
Okay.
David, I see the look you giving me.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, how you feel about this, man?
That's one heck of a hall pass, you know. And it's not like it doesn't have a biblical precedent, right?
Yes.
Again, you know, the obvious story of Abraham and Sarah. But here's my problem, right? You get that hall pass, you're a married man, to go out and basically to sleep with another woman or the woman of your choice. And here's the thing in my mind, right? What about if you say, she's not going to make it, I want to choose somebody else? This is a fantasy for this guy. But here's the bottom line. I'm in favor of a surrogate mother if you have somebody that can hold it. But the process is what I have a problem with, right? You know, if he's going to, you know, do this through a bank and then somebody, a surrogate mother, carries the seed, I'm okay with it, right? And I understand with all the conditions which, you know, Tami Roman is talking about, but to give the hall pass, no.
So you writing your name on this permission slip?
No.
For
the hall pass is insane. I think it's an absolute no. Okay. But I know this is common in the celebrity world. I like to say that because I feel like common people don't necessarily. Well, maybe they do. I know Toya Wright a long time ago gave her husband a hall pass, or her ex-husband, he requested a hall pass. So this is kind of known in the celebrity realm.
You said what husband? Again?
Her ex-husband. Her ex-husband. There's probably problems with that hall pass.
Yeah.
I just don't agree with it. I do agree with what David said about having a surrogate or someone else carrying the child. I don't have any kids myself, but I do. Right now, 3 of my best friends are actually pregnant, and, well, 2 of them just had their children. And one of my friends, she went through so much having her child, and she's talking about how she doesn't want anymore because she just had a C-section. It's been really hard on her body. The way, not to be graphic, the way they cut her, whatever. If she has more kids, she's gonna have to have another C-section, and that made her not want to have any more kids, just because of everything she's going through and having to be wrapped up, and it's just really hard on her body, and it's also very hard on her mental too. Yes. And so for that, the whole surrogate, I understand that. I don't disagree with that perspective. I think that's fine. But giving another hall pass, and kind of what you said earlier, David, what happens? He's just like, well, I want to try this out. I want to try this. Or it doesn't work with that person. So now he's just dipping in, dipping out of, like, who knows, a whole bunch of other different women. And you're just okay with that until, you know, you get your child. And And who's to say that it's going to work out when you co-parent? It's the three of you. What happens if you end up not liking her and you're just stuck with her because you gave him this hall pass? And I'm also like, what dignity do you have in your, I mean, I understand the surrogate, but where's your dignity where it's like, okay, go have a hall pass and be with who you want and then come back and lay with me? Like, no, it's a no for me. It's a no for me, fam.
Who's to say he's gonna come back?
That too.
When you open this door, anything,
and you
can
can't
happen.
even be mad at him.
You gave him. He didn't bring the suggestion to her. She gave the suggestion to him.
Yeah.
These are two highly functioning adults. She brought this conversation to him. I've always heard people say that you're only as faithful as your options. This man is
sorry, never heard that before.
He's remotely famous due to his wife. You know, he's recognizable.
People know his wife has money.
Yes. So, and to think that he might have some access to said money. If you're looking at this woman to only provide this particular thing that you're in need of, this could open a door that could destroy both of their lives and anything that they could have together.
Yeah.
I've seen plenty of guys that go out there, and this is where you end up with that one chick that you really shouldn't have messed with. That regardless of what you told was the situation, regardless of what you said we're going to do with this child and how we're going to take care of you and all of this, because not only the wife has to sell this on the husband, now the husband needs to find a woman who's willing to have this sold on her, because we're going to start a relationship to bring life, and then I'm supposed to cut that relationship or then automatically change that relationship to something else.
I think she meant well by it. I think it's just the way she's going about it, because like you said, she has all these different sicknesses. Pregnancy is not easy on women. We don't know like if there are other complications besides what she's putting out there for her reason for not having kids per se. So I think her overall reasoning of wanting someone else besides her to carry the child, like I said, I understand that pregnancy is not easy for women. Some women it's hard to get pregnant, in vitro, all of that. She probably doesn't want to go through all that. But like you said, I think the hall pass is where sis got me. She got me stuck. And I don't know the ramifications around getting a surrogate. There's documents you have to sign, but I feel like it's probably a more formal process than, hey, you just go find some chick that you're probably attracted to, that you're probably fantasizing over or whatever, and you go ahead and make a baby with her.
And then you want me to cut it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not like this is something random, like, oh, I'm just hooking up with the shorty that I saw out while I was at the club or something, and it's a one and done. No, this is a continued relationship until this person becomes pregnant, and then give birth. Anything could happen during that entire situation.
Yeah.
I don't know, and you know, Tammy's talking about her career's taking off and things are happening. I know she's got the Real World Reunion thing that's supposed to be happening. I understand she's in a couple of other shows and some movies and stuff, and that's great. I understand that she feels a particular way because the husband doesn't have any children of his own. But is your legacy in this situation, I'm going to throw this out to Dave, as a man, is your legacy worth your marriage?
Yeah, that's a great question. Because first off, I think, you know, my mind as you were talking, I'm thinking about how do they really view marriage, right? Because, you know, this seems to be an open relationship situation to me. That, and perhaps this is something, we don't know if they have some history here, but you're opening a door to adultery. And so if that's what she wants to do, my whole question is really, you know how we traditionally view a godly marriage? I just see some of these stars and people like that. They have a whole different view of what marriage looks like, you know, and even opening the door to this, it's just strange. So I think legacy is very important, but I think it runs in tandem with marriage. It shouldn't be separate, because I think your marriage and how you handle this is your legacy.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I also think that she could, again, I'm not saying that I'm for the hall pass, but just hearing you said something about she's about to, I think you said to do a reunion, her career's taking off. Yeah. And I do feel as though sometimes women have to put their careers aside for their kids. Not saying that that's good or bad. I'm not saying that that's bad that they do that, but I feel like people don't understand the totality that pregnancy has on a woman's body. Mm-hmm. They also don't understand all the sacrifice that she's making with kids and how that affects her way to move up in her career. So I feel like maybe that's also what she's thinking about, is maybe she has a certain image, her body's a certain way. She also has all these sicknesses going on, and she's not, and she knows that carrying her own child may, I don't want to say dampen that, but may affect the way that she moves on in her career. So she's kind of career focused and not really thinking about the overall picture, the marriage, the legacy, or whatever. She may be somewhat tainted by the fact that her being pregnant herself, besides her sickness, could affect her way to move up in her career, which is true among, no matter if you're black, white, Hispanic, whatever, it affects women.
Yeah, but the other thing, if you're black and something that's really serious, there's still a ridiculous number of black women that do not make it out of pregnancy.
No, that's true. That too.
Of making it out of childbirth. Yeah. So that on top of all she has going on, I understand the heart of it, and I understand where it's coming from, but
she could go about it a different way.
You could go,
yeah.
There's a ton of different things you can do. You can adopt, and you have to ask yourself, okay, just because the child did not come from me, it can challenge how you look at it. But I look at myself. My wife had two sons that are now my sons, and they're my sons just from the sheer fact that I love their mother. And everything that comes with them, comes with her, is now with me. Wow. These are my boys. They did not come from me, but they are mine. Yeah. Regardless if they have a natural father or not, they're my sons. They live in my home. I take care of them. I feed them. I clothe them. Besides them getting to this world is different, they're my children. And because they're my children, I take care of them the same way I take care of my adult children. And even though I'm not technically their biological father, I am their father. Because they can't have a stepdad in the house. Right. I got to be a father, regardless of the situation. Now, if her husband was to look at that situation that way, then maybe it would lead him to make a different decision. No one knows if he's going to make this decision. Supposedly, he's turned this down. The guy, which it's smart.
Good for him.
It still was put on the table. Yeah. And since it was put on the table, you know, we got to talk about it, because there's going to be somebody that's going to watch this episode of The Real and be like, you know what, maybe this might be right for me. You know, whatever they're going to do. And think that, you know, some of this foolishness is something that they should invite into their marriage. Look at these people now that's sitting up here that thought that these open marriages was really going to be
Will and Jada.
Yeah. And Will and Jada done showed you, look, hey. And it's bad, because the thing that helps keep them together is Will and Jada's money and all that they've established
their
together.
Kids.
Exactly.
Their kids, all of that other good stuff. When you just Paul and Sheena, they live down the street.
It's different.
And you ain't got nothing. Yeah. You know, it might be a little difficult, but no, your legacy is what you make it.
Absolutely. And here's the thing, right? We can always choose our actions, but we can't choose the consequences, right? And so this is simply something that I think, you know, it has to be well thought out.
Say that again, Dave.
You can choose your actions, but you can't choose the consequences.
Put it on a bumper sticker. We're selling it right now here. $39.95. Elevation Global Media Group. Go to the website. Ask for David's bumper sticker. We got that.
That's it. That's it in a nutshell. So, and it just comes down to a personal choice. But again, for me, no, it doesn't work. Yeah.
So that's a no for you, Chloe.
That's
Rob don't have to look forward to this.
No, he don't.
All right.
And I'm gonna say my choice words. I'm gonna say no. It's a no for me.
All right. So we said all that to say, Tami, have more faith in your husband.
Yeah.
Don't be out here Willa and Jada-ing.
And kudos to him for turning it down.
Yes, and kudos to Reggie Youngblood for initially telling her no. We pray that he keeps that no and keeps that no strong. And doesn't go back on it. And they can figure out a way that they can have a child without her having to be the one to give birth to it. All right, from there, we've said all we're going to say on that one. We're going to leave it there. We're going to throw it over to our girl, Chloe. What you got?
I got money on the table. That's what I want to talk about today.
Where is that?
Not my money.
Okay.
But $750 million. $750 million. That's the amount of money that Travis Scott has in his lawsuits for Astroworld. I don't know if you guys have seen that on the news.